and welcome back to the movie of this week. And the movie of this week was definitely Maybe from 2008. So if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If you're new here, I do like a movie every week. You guys can comment below. It's like a book club, but a movie club. And then at the end of every video, I say the movie for next week so you can follow along. Definitely Maybe. So stacked cast. This was my second time watching it. And I really love like these rom-com movies from the 2000s that are interesting and unique and have something extra to it, and it's not cliche, because nowadays I feel like there aren't that many romantic comedies that are made as there used to be, and the ones who are made now, they're not original and stuff. And I thought this one was really interesting and original, and I really liked it. It felt very different than other rom-coms. Technically you can call this rom-com like a chick flick. It's kind of like a chick flick category, but it is like romance. So, and if you didn't know, you know, we're gonna do an entire year with different types of romances as well. But here we go with Definitely Maybe. So what makes this different is it kind of like what the girl said, like it's like a mystery romance where you're kind of like, who does he end up with? Who does he end with? And I love Isla Fisher. Like I love her. And you're hearing the story and you're like, oh, they're the ones that like almost happened but never did happen. So like it must be her. And like I watched this before and I like so thought it was gonna be her. But then it ended up being Elizabeth Banks' character, the first girlfriend he had. And you're like, oh, but I think he like ends up with her. Like I remember that. But like you're like still kind of like kind of how I felt, you know, if your first time watching this, you're like, nobody should be with Isa's character. At the end, you know, he goes to her and they're together. And so I think this story is really important for multiple reasons. Like, obviously I love the mystery of it all, like who he ends up with, like who is this? But it kind of like shows that like in the end, like, yeah, like he's still getting a divorce from his daughter's mom, and then their relationship wasn't gonna last, and that's okay, and sometimes that happens. And they still had this like great, well, we didn't really see much of their love story to be honest, but it's just sometimes like that's just what happens, and it's okay and everything. And it kind of is crazy because then like he didn't even realize himself, but like his daughter realized, like, you have this love for someone else, like you deserve to be happy and everything. And so that's why he was able to find someone he was actually meant to be with. But this story is also really sad because in the end he was like, you're the happy ending, and like I start crying. So it's just like a sweet rom-com overall, and it's something where a lot of times romantic comedies, you know, it's between these two characters, you know, these, you know, either they're enemies, lovers, they're fake dating to real dating, they're whatever else, like, you know, they're gonna have to be together. But this one, he's, you know, 3 options in front of him and you don't know who he's gonna be with. And so I saw a lot of people online being like, it's like How I Met Your Mother, because it's kind of like it's kind of like that was kind of like a mystery, but you know, there's a TV show over a long time. And so this, I guess, has some elements that, when did that show start? I wonder if they kind of got inspired by the idea. I don't know. Maybe this is also based off a book, because I feel like a lot of things like this are based off a book, but I really don't know. But it's just like a sweet story overall. And so I kind of wanted to do it as movie of the week because, you know, I love talking about romantic comedies. And I think, you know, obviously we're going to have that year of romantic comedies, well, romance. But I think it's important to start talking about these things now and kind of like looking at the filmmaking aspect and kind of looking at the story, because it's kind of, I try to rom-coms, especially more so than just basic romance, because romance could have a lot of different, there's no such story as just romance. Either it's like romantic comedies, romantic dramas, romantic horror. There has to be, you know, something element to it. But with rom-coms, you know, there's these different categories it could fit in. And so when I try to think of this, it's like, it's hard to think of a different category, because that's the thing with like his romance with each of these different women are a different kind of trope. So that's kind of what I like to see, is like comparing different tropes and seeing like what worked in different ways. And so it's kind of good that it had like a mixture of tropes, and like it felt a little bit like a mixture of different romantic comedies, because he had these 3 women three different women, and I felt like all the relationships felt like real and relaxed and everything as well. It's important to watch these movies, and I hope you guys like this movie, and I like this movie, and sweet movie. It's a chick flick. Anyway, guys, comment below your thoughts about Definitely Maybe. And then the movie for next week is Elf from 2003. So comment below about Definitely Maybe. Watch Elf for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.